You know what? I have always wanted a BBL. There you are. Okay, you're just in time. Did you get the stuff? The stuff. The Benadryl. I put in the description that I needed you to get some Benadryl on the way over here. Did you not get the Benadryl? Okay, so, I can find something else. I just need to quickly... You know, it's fine. It's no problem. Benadryl would have fixed it, but, you know, we're not going to put blame on anybody. I mean, it's not my fault, but whatever. It's fine. We have more important things to do right now. Based off the look on your face, you're a little bit confused. That's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed about. Dumb people can live good lives too. As the resident town genius, I've decided to use my deep and girthy knowledge to make some medicines that permanently get rid of cat allergies. Now, I love cats, not in like a Shane Dawson kind of way, in a normal human being that does not want to sleep with their cat kind of way. The issue with this is that I'm allergic to cats. It's not like an intense reaction. I get itchy eyes and a runny nose after petting one, but I want to pet cats. I want to touch the kitty, and that's not even an entendre. Oh, sorry. Entendre means two things when you said one thing. Anyway, I set up this lab because I realized I might be the only person in the world who's intelligent enough to be able to create this incredibly important medicine. Just think about every time that you saw and pet a cat, and now think about not doing that. Right? Now, the reason that I found out I'm a genius is because I played Portal 2. Gosh, I'm just so smart. And genius like this cannot be kept private. It is my duty as a smart person to help those that have fewer brain cells. So, you're welcome. You know, it's a funny story. I actually had everything that I needed for this whole set. I used to use it when I would make moonshine in the backyard, but I stopped when Grandma started complaining about not being able to see anymore. We did later learn that it was not wood alcohol poisoning, and it actually was the cataracts, so we're probably safe. Now, I chose to play Portal 2 for two reasons. The primary reason is that it's relaxing. It's low stress, not particularly high energy, just a nice little puzzle game, which after the past few videos I've made was a really nice respite. It's finally time to play an actually, relaxed game. The second reason was because I was really starting to doubt my puzzle solving skills. The last game that I played also had puzzles in it, but during that time it also felt like my brain was melting out of my ears, so I wanted to see if it was just that game specifically, or if brain-eating worms were a fear that I could cross off of my list. Yeah, good job! Good job! I put the thing on the button! Why did I choose to play Portal 2 instead of Portal 1? I don't know. I kind of seem to have an aversion to playing the first game in a series. I don't know what's up with that. I'm a good little hamster. The Portal series is a wildly successful and well-known game, so I'm just going to briefly go over the plot before moving on. In Portal 2, you're trying to escape a testing facility that a psychopathic robot with a voice that is entirely too attractive for an overglorified Google Home smart device has trapped you inside of.
Well, have fun soaring through the air without a care in the world. I have to go to the wing that was made entirely of glass and pick up 15 acres of broken glass by myself.
In order to get out, you need to go through the test and the facility by using the portal gun. If you've played the game, you already know what happens. If you haven't, I'm not going to say anymore because you need to go play this game right now. I will say we do seem to be exceptionally bad at escaping this facility. You know, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here and say that if we want to escape this facility, perhaps we should stop going down and instead think about going up. Dude, this sciencey stuff looks so cool. Like, look at these test tubes. We've got bromine, which everyone says you're supposed to keep in like an airtight container, but you know, what if it wants to be free? Who are we to deny its freedom? We also have a nickel sulfate solution here. Don't smell that one. It really hurts. We've got methylene blue. Fun fact, this is the stuff that makes the ocean blue. Don't look that up, take my word for it. And last but not least, we also have Mountain Dew. Actually, is that the Mountain Dew or is it the other one? No, okay, the second one is the Mountain Dew and the other one is the nickel sulfate. Okay, so I don't actually know how to make the medicine now that I don't have the Benadryl. So I'm just gonna look some stuff up. You just, I don't know, look at the flask, make sure it's not gonna burn or something, okay?
It's taking up space.
Is this actually how you're supposed to do this? Because if it is, then I'm just naturally brilliant, but we already knew that. One of the reasons I loved playing this game so much was because of the characters, and no, it was not just because of GLaDOS.
Remember before when I was talking about smelly garbage standing around being useless? That was a metaphor. I was actually talking about you.
Yes,
And
I
I'm
caught
sorry.
that. Thank you for
You didn't
clarifying,
react
GLaDOS,
at the
really.
time.
I don't know who the writers for this game were, but they were getting paid. There are only 2 characters that you interact with in this game at all. Do you know what it feels like to be upstaged by a sphere? A sphere who, by the way, has better dialogue skills than I do.
I can't see it anyway. Tell you what, plug me in and I'll turn the lights on. Okay,
And it's hitting every single switch, okay.
This should slow it down. No, it makes it go faster.
The first character that you run into is named Wheatley, which sounds more like the name of a healthy breakfast cereal than the name of a robot. Now, I think that your very first interactions with Wheatley lets you know exactly what the vibe is, and the vibe is almost exclusively comedy.
And it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
Wheatley is a dumbass, and he shows it almost every single time that he opens his mouth. Speakers, things.
Absolutely guaranteeing you 100% that it's this way. No, it's not this way.
There's just something about his intense stupidity that mixes with this unbelievably perfect timing that completely catches you off guard in the best way.
Right.
Or just take it all
I'm
out.
gonna have to
That
hack
works
the
too, I
door
guess.
so that we can get at it. Technical.
Oh
you'll
boy.
need to turn around while I do this.
I know, you're all shut.
Okay, go on, just pull that
There's
turret out.
no way.
But his stupidity, as funny as it is also an incredibly important plot point. So he's not just dumb for the sake of being dumb, he's dumb as a plot device as well. I'm not going to explain any more than that because, again, most of you already know, and if you don't, then you haven't played it and you need to go do that. Right after you subscribe, though. You should like the video and subscribe first. Yep, go do that and then play the game.
Won't
Pretty
find out
good
what
for
a
somebody
turret's
with
about
brain
until it's too late.
damage.
I think one of my favorite parts of this game is when Wheatley becomes a drug addict. Let me repeat that in case you didn't quite understand what I just said. The robot becomes a drug addict. I love this game.
Oh, wow. Well done. Seriously, both.
It's kind of like a weird robot version of heroin, and like heroin, he is also building a tolerance to it, making each hit feel less and less enjoyable. The writing in this game is insane. Also, don't think I didn't notice that the medicine is black now. One job. I gave you one job.
Has a built-in euphoric response to testing.
So he's building a resistance to his drugs.
I cannot really express how much fun it is to listen to these characters. I know I sound like a bit of a broken record, but they're just so full of life and engaging that it just sucks you in a way that I have never experienced before.
All you've done is boss me around. Well, now who's the boss?
What? You're the one who's been telling me where to go. Why am I talking to a robot? What am I doing? This is a video game. What's going on? Dude, I'm looking at this website. Did you know that there's this thing called alternative medicine? Dude, these people are brilliant. There's this one person that says when their kids have a cold, they give them horse tranquilizers, which is just brilliant. How are you going to cough if you're passed out for 72 hours? I need to add some essential oils to my cure right now.
There's our handiwork. I shouldn't laugh. They do feel pain. Of a sort.
What? Why would you simulate pain? Why would you do that?
Wheatley is a gem, but of course the star of the show is GLaDOS.
I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
Now, pretty much everybody knows who she is, the main antagonist of the first game, the test master, AI, robot thing, whatever. After this game, she is my Hear Me Out character. 100%.
Require me to warn you that this next test chamber is looking pretty good.
Hi, yeah, I'm in love with you. I don't know how that happened, but yeah. She's sarcastic and quick-witted and has a voice that sounds like warm honey being dripped onto satin sheets, and now that I say that out loud, that sounds really gross, actually.
Nobody murdered me, or put me in a potato, or fed me to birds.
Now, in my day-to-day life, I tend to be a pretty sarcastic, sassy person myself. GLaDOS makes me look like I got hit over the head with a lead pipe when I was a child. It's glorious.
Well, you know the old formula. Comedy equals tragedy plus time. And you have been asleep for a while. So I guess it's actually pretty funny when you do the math.
She also turns into a potato for half of the game, which is interesting.
How are you holding up? Because I'm a
It could be better.
Yeah, you know, you probably have it worse. These two alone were so funny, I was finding it hard to keep up with them. I mean, the entire point of making these videos is for me to make things funny. What am I supposed to do when I am being completely outclassed by a dysfunctional basketball and a woman that has both the color and shape of a latex thumb?
Yeah, you know, man, it's just too easy of a joke.
I can't, I will not allow myself to make, it's too easy. It's way too easy. Granted, it's hard to make good jokes or solve puzzles when you slept as little as I have recently. Oh, yeah, before I started working on this, I wanted to try to make a type of decaf that didn't taste like stale coffee grounds that a 57-year-old diner waitress just spit in and accidentally made super caffeinated coffee. Patent pending. I'm trying to get it past the FDA, but they keep on complaining about psychedelic effects and severe neurological activity or whatever. I haven't slept in 32 hours. I also haven't eaten. Do you want a pizza?
You know, every time she starts talking, I just start craving french fries. I'm not sure why.
The puzzles are another part of this game that make it a masterpiece. See what I did there? Masterpiece. The puzzles are a masterpiece, like piece of the puzzle. You get it. You get it. The puzzles ramp up in difficulty as you progress through the game, and they get challenging enough to give you a feeling of accomplishment after you've beaten them, but aren't so hard as to make you bang your head against the wall.
I have been stuck on this puzzle for 20 minutes. How do I get up there?
Now you have to remember, I am a genius. And sometimes, with a brain as powerful and brilliant as mine, sometimes I overthink things. For instance, in this situation, I could have just aimed the box at the target. In fact, I actually hit the target while I was repositioning, but, you know, the game's called Portal. I wanted to use the portals.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that we probably have to use a portal. I'm not sure though.
It's also interesting to see how stuck you can get on a specific idea that you have to solve a puzzle when there's an easier solution. Here I was so stuck on this tractor beam and trying to figure out how to get across using it that I forgot about, you know, the name of the game.
Actually, I'm a little stupid.
Some of the later puzzles do get more challenging than I was expecting, but it also might have been a little bit of mental fatigue. I was having so much fun playing that I was hesitant to take a break even when I probably should have. The later puzzles with the goop in particular gave me some pause.
This cannot be the way to do this. This would be so unbelievably tedious.
But it was only one or two of the levels. Even the goop could not get in the way of my sheer intellectual might. Ask me a math question right now. It was 4. I could see it on your face.
I am so ridiculously smart. I'm borderline clairvoyant at this point. It's insane.
Man, this is some good pizza. Granted, with how long it's been since I've last eaten, I could probably lick the butter off of those satin sheets and call it gourmet. And don't worry about the pizzas being next to the chemicals. If some pepperoni gets in the formula, it's just going to give it some flavoring. And if you're worried about the chemicals getting on the pizza, well, I'm pretty sure that I drank the wrong green test tube anyway, so I'm probably going to need to get my stomach pumped regardless.
It's just too easy. We are literally painting an inner tube void. I said I wasn't going to make as many dick jokes this time, but it's so hard not to. Look at this. Look at this.
Now, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. My greatest issue in life as a whole is figuring out where I need to go. I've got the directional skills of a homing pigeon, if said homing pigeon just snorted a can of compressed air and started doing somersaults. Now, my directional skills, as horrible as they are, were not really an issue in this game. It is so easy to figure out where to go. The only time it might get confusing is when you aren't in the testing chambers. And even then, most of the time there are people or signs telling you where you need to go.
Portal up to that passage and I'll see you on the other side.
Oh, there it is, yeah.
Can you reach that wall back there?
That wall? Oh.
This is exactly the kind of hand-holding I need to not get lost and end up back at the start of the game somehow. I need you to treat me like a child, like a baby boy, like a toddler in Times Square. You do not take your eyes off of me. The game gives you enough time to figure it out yourself, but if you take too long, you get just a little bit of help to push yourself forward.
I'm a little bit bored too, you know? Just a little bit.
Just to clarify, this doesn't give like the solution to a puzzle or anything. They're just little clues on where you need to go to get to the next puzzle. They generally show up during chase sequences and stuff like that.
That looks like I'll die, and that, you know, dying's not fun. But on the other hand, I could just like try it.
The final boss admittedly wasn't anything spectacular, but it didn't have to be. The rest of the game was a masterpiece in almost every aspect that I can think of, and since this game doesn't really have any combat, the final boss falling short isn't something that I can really complain about.
When I said I wanted to be an astronaut, this is not what I had in mind.
We're in space!
I know!
You can tell just how much the developers cared about this project. There's so much effort and work that you can see has been put into this, and it's really just incredible.
That was the leopard guy from the video. That's...
Portal 2 was so good that the day after I finished, I got Portal 1 to play as well. I noticed that it's got more of that classic Valve style to it. It's real grungy and dirty. It's a very stylized look. It's not as clean as Portal 2, but it definitely has a unique charm to it, and I'm sure people who have played this and other Valve games hold a lot of nostalgia for it. Gameplay-wise, the two were almost exactly the same. There really isn't anything more to say about that. I think the puzzles from Portal 1 were a little bit easier, but that also could have just been because of my experience from Portal 2. You know what I was thinking? If I did drink the acid instead of the Mountain Dew, wouldn't that just make the pizza dissolve faster in my stomach? I love being a little gerbil, I really do. I liked Portal 1, but I loved Portal 2. I know that I've been saying that a lot, I've been glazing it a little bit, but I can't help it. It is so good.
Just shoot them. Shoot them. Shoot them. Shoot your sister.
I would say that there are two reasons I like Portal 2 more than Portal 1. First off, Portal 2 is a lot funnier. After playing 2, I kind of expected 1 to have a similar vibe, but it was much more serious. It didn't affect the gameplay or anything, but I really found myself missing the humor as I was playing through it.
What?
The second reason was because of GLaDOS. She wasn't as sassy and her voice was really different in Portal 1 up until the final boss fight. GLaDOS' voice isn't quite as, you know, I'm a bad bitch as it is in the second one either. I don't know, man. There's something about her voice. It's like chocolate and hazelnut that's been poured over a piece of bread made out of clouds, but the clouds are sexy. I don't know how to explain it. Did you hear what I just said? I don't know what's going on.
But that thing you just incinerated.
She's back. She's back.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Name's Direwire. Huge fan.
Also, a little side note, I beat the last boss of Portal 1 with 2 seconds left on the clock, and I wanted to show that to somebody, so yeah.
Life has been
Yo!
Okay, despite some interference, I've managed to fix everything. All the ingredients are in, we just need to wait for it to cook and cool off, and we'll see if it works. You know, this stuff is actually so easy. I know that I'm a genius, but really all you have to do is throw a bunch of stuff in a bottle and light it up. The trick I've found is to heat it up really, really hot. Let all those chemicals mix together super well, you know? After I'm done with this, I think I'm going to revisit the decaf thing. It didn't work out the way that I wanted. Man, that was an interesting reaction. Wait. I've been wearing a patch of cat hair under my nose all day just in case the medicine might work, and I can breathe just fine right now. No way. You know, I have to say a lot of people have been telling me my contributions to society are enormous, but being able to come onto The View like this, whoopee, it's an honor. And then I said, well, for what you want, I need at least 3 parrots. Okay, calm down, Jimmy. Wasn't that fun? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. You know, when I was in my house making this medicine using moonshine equipment that may or may not have made my grandmother go blind, I never expected to one day be standing here accepting a Nobel Prize. I mean, really, who would have thought mixing some lavender oil, glycerin, nitric acid, vitamin C tablets, 7 packages of Claritin Clear, and grapefruit juice would have cured cat allergies? I just wanted to use this opportunity to tell all of the kids who are distilling hard liquor in their backyard like I used to that you too can be something. What is that? Is there a fire? What's going on? Ooh. Head. What is... What? I think it needed more essential oil.